Mr. Owens, you may continue your cross-examination, sir.
Dr. Werner, I don't want to rehash it, but just for the jury's sake, would it be fair to say that the text messages that you were forwarded by the state attorney for you to review, you did not deem to be relevant to your evaluation?
Right, they demonstrate.
Ma'am, it's a yes or no question.
Yes.
Now, from what I understand, when the state attorney sent you the information, they did not send you any videotapes.
Correct,
So you have not reviewed any videotapes in this matter.
correct.
The suitcase videotapes, either one of those you have not reviewed,
I have not seen them, correct.
or any body cam videotapes you have not reviewed.
They're described in the police report.
My question is, have you viewed any of the body cam videotapes relating to this incident?
I have not seen them, correct.
Prior incidences between the two of them, have you reviewed any videotapes, body cam videotapes of any prior incidents?
I have not.
Have you reviewed the audio tapes related to some of the questioning of Sarah Boone?
I have not.
Have you reviewed the autopsy report?
It's described in the incident report, but I did not see the actual autopsy report.
Now, you're aware that we have called two experts, Dr. Michael Brannon and Dr. Julie Harper. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you're aware that they are forensic psychologists,
That's correct.
and you are a forensic psychiatrist.
That's correct.
So they didn't go to medical school and you did,
That's correct.
and they don't understand medical issues, so to speak.
I don't have an understanding of what they understand medically.
Do you recall telling me that they don't understand medical issues, so to speak?
They haven't been to medical school, but I wouldn't understand their medical knowledge.
If you would look on page 22 of your deposition.
Objection collateral.
Approach. Objection's overruled.
Dr. Werner, have you had a chance to review your deposition on page 22, starting at line 7?
Yes.
Could you read down through line 11 your answer?
Yes, I'm talking about psychologists in general, not with regard specifically to your experts, which is what you were just asking me about.
Okay, but you would agree, your opinion is psychologists typically do therapy, but they don't prescribe medication or understand medical issues, so to speak.
Correct.
Objection irrelevant.
Overruled.
Correct. But I wasn't specifically talking about your experts, which you were just asking me about your experts
Okay.
specifically, and I said I didn't understand, I didn't know what their specific medical.
All right, that's what you said under oath October 4th of this year.
Correct.
Argument is
Sustained.
Now, is it fair to say that the majority of your work is in the field of competency to proceed and guardianship evaluations?
Actually, the majority of my work is in patient care. I work 7 days a week on the crisis stabilization unit, actually treating patients.
You work 7 days a week,
Yes, sir?
so as a forensic psychiatrist doing forensic work, the majority of your work in that area is in the field of competency to proceed and guardianship evaluations.
As a forensic psychiatrist, correct. As a psychiatrist, I work 7 days a week on the crisis stabilization unit.
And where is that unit?
It's located in Lake City, Florida.
So you work there 7 days a week?
Yes, sir.
And then you also do this forensic psychiatrist work doing competencies to proceed and guardianship evaluations.
That's part of the, what comes under the umbrella of my forensic work, yes.
That's the majority of your forensic work.
Yes, that's the majority of that's the most common cases that we're asked to,
And then next in line would be sanity at the time of the crime.
yes,
So you would make a determination and submit a report to the court as to whether or not a defendant, an accused, is legally sane or not at the time of the offense.
yes, that's correct.
Is it fair to say that you also testify weekly as a treating physician through Baker Act Court?
Yes, that's correct. Every Thursday, we have Baker Act hearings with regards to our individuals who are being held in our crisis stabilization unit.
Is that in Gainesville or Lake City?
No, sir, that's in Lake City.
Now, Lake City from here is north of Gainesville?
Yes, sir, it's approximately 40 minutes north of Gainesville.
Now, I believe you said you've testified in battering spouse situations in court approximately 5 to 10 times?
Yes,
Is that correct?
yes,
And you often refer to that as intimate violence cases?
yes.
Now, my understanding that after you had a chance to evaluate my client, Sarah Boone, and I believe you evaluated her 2 days before the deposition, so it would have been October the 2nd of 2024.
Correct.
As to your diagnosis as it relates to her, do you believe that she suffers from a generalized anxiety disorder?
No, sir.
Now, you're aware that she was previously diagnosed prior to you evaluating her, she was previously diagnosed with a generalized anxiety disorder.
She told me that she had previously been diagnosed. I did not see any medical records with that diagnosis in it, but she told me that she had previously been diagnosed with that.
Did you attempt to secure any other records to us?
Improper.
Sustained.
Did you diagnose her with an adjustment disorder?
I did diagnose her with an adjustment disorder.
Do you believe that if she was diagnosed with a generalized anxiety disorder, it's really not that, it should be an adjustment disorder?
A lot of the symptoms overlap for the two diagnoses, and we see that quite often, that the different diagnosticians or physicians come up with different diagnoses based on a conglomerate of symptoms. So it's not uncommon for the two diagnoses to overlap based on the symptoms.
Do you agree back on October the 4th, 2024, when I took your deposition, that you could not make up your mind at that time whether she suffered from generalized anxiety disorder or an adjustment disorder?
I had not made a clinical decision at that time. I hadn't reviewed all of my documents at that time.
When did you make a clinical decision that she suffered from adjustment disorder as opposed to generalized anxiety disorder?
It was probably within the next week when I was reviewing all of the, going through all of the documents in her interview more thoroughly.
Dr. Werner, did you agree you did not notify me?
Judge, may we approach?
Yes. Objection is sustained.
Dr. Werner, you agree that when I took your deposition on October the 4th, You had questions, in all honesty, about whether or not you felt like Sarah Boone suffered from a generalized anxiety disorder versus an adjustment disorder.
I was leaning towards adjustment disorder secondary to her being in the correctional setting, and I think I said that in my deposition. I didn't know that I had enough information from her, because I only had information from her. I didn't have anything in the medical records to support generalized anxiety disorder. So I wanted to review that.
I'm just learning it now, as you testified here today.
Sustained.
Is this the first time you've let the parties know that this is your opinion?
That I believe that she has generalized anxiety disorder?
No.
Or that I believe that she has
Adjustment disorder.
Adjustment disorder, yes.
Now, from your evaluation, you determined that she had a personality trait,
That's correct.
and you felt like that she had a grandiosity issue,
Yes, she has a narcissistic personality disorder trait.
a trait, one trait.
Correct.
Do you agree a lot of people have one trait?
Yes,
Okay, a lot of people have a grandiosity trait
that's correct.
that are not narcissists.
But I never said that she was a narcissist.
Is it your opinion that Sarah Boone has alcohol use disorder?
Yes, that's correct.
And are you forming that opinion based on Sarah Boone's admission to you that she was an alcoholic?
I'm going to refer to my notes for her. She has a history of being diagnosed with that. She also acknowledged to me that her use had been problematic.
So you formed the opinion that she suffered from alcohol use disorder based on the history that she presented to you at this evaluation?
It was based on the totality of the information that I was provided, so the medical records demonstrating that she had been diagnosed with it in the past. Her ex-husband, in his interview in the police report, described her as an alcoholic, and in her description of herself having a problem with alcohol.
And do you acquire a tolerance over time if you drink on the regular?
That's one of the criteria.
Do people also have a genetic tolerance for alcohol?
They may.
Now, as it relates to battered spouse syndrome, would you agree that that is a recognized syndrome in the psychiatric community?
Yes.
And you have heard no criticisms of that syndrome?
No.
And you would agree that's a subset of post-traumatic stress disorder?
Yes.
And you would agree that Lenore Walker first developed the theory of post-traumatic stress syndrome?
Yes.
Now, I think at the time of this deposition, you were not sure you knew Lenore Walker.
I don't recall that.
All right, look at page 54.
Approach. Objection is sustained.
Dr. Warner, do you recognize Lenore E.A. Walker's book, The Battered Woman Syndrome, as an authoritative treatise on battered spouse syndrome?
I do not, because I have not read everything. I haven't read it, and so I can't say that I agree with everything in it.
Is it clear to you that Sarah Boone was involved in a violent relationship with George Torres?
Yes.
Do you agree that there was a violent cycle that occurred during that 3.5-year relationship that Sarah Boone had with George Torres?
It's been described that way, yes.
Would you describe it that way?
It's been described that way to me, yes.
Do you have an opinion?
Vague.
Sustained.
Do you have an opinion that that was a violent cycle between Sarah Boone and George Torres?
It's been described that way, yes.
Do you agree that George Torres was the abuser and Sarah Boone was the victim in that?
It was a volatile relationship. In the police report, her ex-husband actually describes her as being the aggressor.
Okay, I'm going to show you what's been identified as Defense Exhibit I. Have you ever seen this photograph?
I have not.
You see the injuries on Sarah Boone?
I do.
I'll show you Defense Identification H. You see this photograph?
I do.
Have you ever seen it before?
I have not.
Do you agree that's Sarah Boone?
I do.
Are you aware that George Torres
Sustained.
I'm going to show you Defense Identification G. Have you ever seen this photograph?
I have not.
Did you ever read anything about George Torres using a curtain rod as a weapon against Sarah Boone?
I don't recall that specifically.
Identification F. Have you ever seen this photograph?
No.
Defense Identification E. Have you ever seen this photograph?
No.
Identification D. Have you ever seen this photograph?
No.
Have you ever seen a videotape relating to this photograph?
No.
Identification A. Have you ever seen this photograph?
No.
Now, I believe at the time of the deposition, you had spent I think on October the 2nd of 2024, you had spent 2.5 hours evaluating Sarah Boone, and about half of that time was giving her a test.
No. The mental status examination takes approximately 5 minutes.
Okay. Did you go through her entire history of abuse over the 3.5-year period within the 2 hours and 20 minutes that you had?
No.
Now, I understand that you indicated you may take a couple more hours to go through your file and your notes and to come up with your conclusions. Did you do that?
Yes.
Have you spent any more time on the case other than that 2 hours?
I re-reviewed the documents.
Have you made any other attempts to go see Sarah Boone anymore?
Objection. Proper.
Sustained.
You agree that your opinions are subjective, not based on authority?
They're based on my education, training, and years of experience.
And you would agree they're your subjective opinion.
Correct.
Would you agree that Sarah Boone suffers from battered spouse syndrome?
I do.
Would you agree that battered women's experiences affect their perception of imminent danger?
They can.
Would you agree that victims of repeat violence may fear death in a situation others would not?
They may.
Because someone suffers from battered spouse syndrome, they have a heightened sensitivity to danger.
They may.
You agree that people suffering from depression and anxiety are predisposed to getting into a relationship with a partner who may be violent?
They may. Each individual is different.
Are they more susceptible to getting in a relationship if they suffer from depression and anxiety with a violent, intimate partner?
They may be.
Do you agree that the DSM, I think you have it there with you,
Yes, sir.
directs that the clinician should consider post-traumatic stress disorder if there was exposure to extreme stress? Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Did you do any testing to measure whether or not Sarah Boone had post-traumatic stress disorder?
No.
Is it your opinion that Sarah Boone suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder?
Again, she did not give me enough information to formulate an opinion with regards to that.
You agree that an intimate partner who commits acts of violence, physical violence, against the victim that could cause extreme stress in that individual?
It may.
Do you agree if that is the cause, the violence is the cause of extreme stress, that a diagnosis of post-traumatic stress disorder should be considered?
If they meet the criteria. They have to meet the diagnostic criteria.
Do you agree that there is a sense of learned helplessness when someone suffers from battered spouse syndrome?
Yes, that's part of the syndrome.
Do you agree that these women, these battered women, have learned the probability of receiving a beating, and they recognize specific predictive cues emitting from the batterers?
Yes, but it's not just women.
I understand, but you would agree the vast majority of intimate partner violence, battered spouse syndrome victims are women.
Yes, intimate partner violence, yes.
Excuse me?
Intimate partner violence, yes.
The vast majority, the lion's share, are women.
Yes,
And these battered women have learned the probability of receiving a beating by recognizing specific predictive cues emitted by the batterers.
correct.
And many times, these predictive cues result in a high level of anxiety.
Yes,
And in that situation, the battered women may attempt to reduce through several different means, one of which is to avoid delaying the beating.
yes, we talked about that with the cycle.
What is a basal instinct?
A basal instinct? I have no idea.
Primal fear?
Primal fear is just being afraid.
Is that a natural instinct that animals have?
Yes,
fight or flight instinct?
Yes,
You don't even think about it.
correct.
Do you agree that victims of battered spouse or battered woman syndrome suffer from self-isolation, suicidal thoughts, and oftentimes substance abuse?
They may. Each individual is different, so they
And
may.
and they may show signs of physical injury and illness such as bruising and chronic fatigue.
Yes, those can be signs.
The syndrome, battered woman syndrome, is the psychological effects of living with an intimate partner violence.
Yes,
They may have intrusive memories,
they may.
or they re-experience past traumatic events in their mind.
Yes,
They have high levels of anxiety,
yes. They may.
hypervigilant when something doesn't seem right.
They may.
It leads to this fight or flight response that we spoke about.
Yes, they may.
They have problems with sleep.
They may.
They often go into denial,
They may.
minimizing what is happening to them,
They may.
numbing their emotions.
Some of them.
Disassociation. A battered woman may often develop a defense mechanism of being able to psychologically detach from their body during the traumatic experience.
Objection. Facts not evidence.
Sustained.
Panic attacks, severe depression, very low self-esteem, poor body image, disassociation, learned helplessness. All these are symptoms of a battered woman syndrome.
Objection. Compound. Some not facts and evidence.
Sustained.
You agree panic attacks is one of the symptoms of battered woman syndrome.
Objection. Fact not evidence.
Sustained.
What are the symptoms of a battered spouse syndrome?
They can be numerous symptoms, from anxiety symptoms, mood symptoms. They can have psychotic symptoms. It can be any vast majority of symptoms. Substance abuse symptoms, any vast majority.
Do you agree fear is a symptom?
Yes,
Somebody in a constant state of fear.
maybe, yes.
In terms of the abusive partner, do you agree that they would hit the victim,
Some of them, yes.
kick the victim,
They may,
punch the victim,
they may.
Choke.
Abuse takes all different forms.
choke,
They may,
burn,
they may,
destroy their belongings,
they may,
use weapons to hurt them,
they may,
threaten to hurt them, their children, or their pets,
they may,
take their car keys,
they may,
take their debit card,
they may,
take their vehicle,
they may,
control where they go and who they see,
yes, they may,
force them to have sex when they don't want to.
yes, they may.
Dr. Werner, I know you spent a short amount of time with her, and you're saying you didn't get some of the answers as to whether or not.
Facts. Misstating facts.
Objection sustained.
If you'd have spent more time with Sarah Boone, could you have uncovered as to whether or not she suffered from battered spouse syndrome?
I agree that she met the criteria, or that she had battered spouse.
How about post-traumatic stress disorder?
It's possible.
Thank you.
Any redirect examination?
Yes.
You may proceed.
In your decades of experience, have you ever treated patients that suffer from trauma disorders?
Yes.
How frequently would you say you do that?
I have patients on my unit right now that I'm treating on a regular daily basis who have suffered from trauma.
How about patients that meet the criteria for battered spouse syndrome?
Yes.
How many would you say over the course of your career?
Probably 5 to 6 a month on my inpatient unit.
And that's a lot of months.
Yes.
How long have you been doing this?
Since 1998, when I began my career at the University of Florida on faculty.
Now, on cross-examination, you were asked about some diagnoses, correct?
Yes.
Right. Any of these things that you talked about, narcissistic personality disorder, adjustment disorder, anxiety, battered spouse syndrome, any stress or trauma-related disorder. If the state wanted to ask you those opinions, would you have been receptive to more materials before making any opinions about those topics?
Yes.
And is it your testimony today that you don't have enough information to necessarily make a complete and proper diagnosis on any of those things since you have not been provided those materials?
Correct.
Now, you've testified that she does meet the criteria for battered spouse syndrome.
Yes.
But you would be receptive to any evidence that you were provided, right?
Correct.
Going back to what you testified to on direct when the state asked you your opinion about this case, everything that you just talked about with Mr. Owens, does that change your opinion about whether or not battered spouse syndrome is applicable to the facts as Ms. Boone relayed them to you about this incident?
No, not at all.
And why is that?
Because again, she just.
Objection, Judge.
Objection's overruled.
Based on your conversation with Mr. Owens, you've indicated that your opinion did not change, and now would you answer why?
Yes, so based on my interview with her, the way that she described the incident to me, and that they were laughing and having a good time, it didn't play into relaying any kind of triggers or any kind of trauma.
And I'm showing you what has been marked for identification purposes by the defendant as I. Does this photograph inform you as to what happened?
No,
Does it inform you as to who was the aggressor?
no,
H for identification, same questions. Does it inform you as to what happened?
no,
Does it inform you as to who the aggressor was?
no,
Same questions for G,
no,
F,
no,
E,
no,
D,
no,
and A.
no.
If those specifics as to what happened and who was the aggressor is dependent upon the credibility of somebody, would you want to take into account all the things that can make a person credible or less than credible?
Yes, you would want to take that into account.
And you talked about alcohol use disorder. Would you take that into account if somebody is under the influence of alcohol or had been consuming alcohol when they relay a history as to things that happened?
Objection's overruled.
Would you consider somebody's alcohol use and level of intoxication in evaluating the credibility of them as a historian?
Yes,
And you were asked about whether or not you did any testing for post-traumatic stress disorder.
correct,
And you didn't.
correct.
You already indicated, however, you believe that Ms. Boone meets the criteria for battered spouse syndrome.
That's correct.
Again, that doesn't change your opinion that you gave when talking with me on direct examination.
Object, asked and answered.
Overruled.
Specifically about this question about the testing that you did not perform. Did this lack of testing have any change or effect on your opinion as to whether or not battered spouse syndrome applied to the facts of this case?
No,
You were questioned about insanity on cross-examination. You recall that?
yes,
Would you agree that simply because somebody is mentally ill and meets the criteria for diagnosis such as schizophrenia, bipolar, any of those psychotic or mood disorders, that doesn't necessarily make a person legally insane?
correct, the two aren't equal.
Likewise, even if somebody meets the criteria for battered spouse syndrome, does that mean every action they take against their intimate partner is justified?
Correct, they wouldn't be equal.
So even if you do have battered spouse syndrome, even if you are in an intimately violent relationship, that doesn't necessarily mean any action you take against your partner is justified.
That's correct.
No other questions?
State, can this witness be released?
Yes, sir.
Defense.
Just if we got a phone number, we can reach out to her.
Okay. All right, ma'am, you're released, potentially subject to recall. Thank you.